Hey y'all, this is Jasmine Jones with the Business Umbrella here with the Let's Talk Business podcast. This series is called The Big Jump and it's geared towards entrepreneurs who are thinking about starting a business but have not yet taken the big jump. So today we have here with us Rick Blaze. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming out. So we can dive right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to get started.
Okay. My name is Rick Blaze, a.k.a. Mr. Morris Day 2K, a.k.a. Mr. Allen Champagne. I'm one half of the dynamic duo Blazing Black from Houston, Texas, Northside, 5th Ward to be exact. Born and raised in the city. I'm a musician, also a writer. And we have a band, Blazing Black, that tours everywhere locally and not so locally, and I'm also into film as well, so a lot to cover.
Okay, so tell me what inspired you.
Man, that's a loaded question. I'm gonna keep it as concise as possible. I would say probably my parents. They always gave me the reassurance as a young man that I can be anything I wanted to be. Right. Now, although as you get older, you find out there's some boundaries they put on that. Right, for sure. You can be anything you want to be while you're in college. Right. You know what I mean? Like, while going to school still. Right. While you take care of your business. Then once you graduate, you can be anything you want to be while getting while working this 9 to 5 and get you some money. You know, so but they always supported, and anything I always tried or wanted to do, they always supported that. So that really helped out a lot as a young man. Okay.
So did you always feel like you want to be an entrepreneur, or did it something that grew on you?
Not initially. I didn't think about it in those terms,
right?
Because again, I was one of those children growing up. I thought I could actually be what I wanted to be, and I wasn't aware of the political whatever that comes with that. It's not just as simple as, hey, let me just grow up. I can say I want to be that, and I'm just that,
right?
So I wasn't aware of that. So naively, yes. But as I, went through my journey, I realized that I need to look at things in a different perspective. So my dad had his own business. Mm-hmm. He's an artist, and he had his own art gallery in downtown Houston, right by that big Sears building that used to be there.
Right.
So years ago. So, I looked at that as something that he did. So as I got older, I got into the arts, acting, and the music and everything. It became just a natural evolution that I ended up just becoming an entrepreneur. But because that's what I had to do to be successful in my field.
Right.
Coming from where I'm from, we didn't have an opportunity like they have now. I'm probably a little bit older than some of the people that may be listening. But to get into the music wasn't as open as it is now. Now I can be in my room, my bedroom, record something from my laptop, and put it on social media and go viral tomorrow.
Right.
Back when I was coming up, you had to know somebody who had the studio.
Right.
Like
you couldn't just know somebody.
Yeah. So the channels of availability wasn't like that when I was a young man. So as a result, I had to become an entrepreneur to give myself a shot to open up my own door, because there was no doors for me to ready to walk through.
Right. Okay, so about how long ago was that? Like, how long have you been walking in your journey?
Oh, man. I started in college, messed around a little bit with my boy Troy Trigger, shout out to him. And then we kind of went our own thing, and then so I kept doing the music thing. So, and all in all, probably about 7-8 years. Okay. And then I was doing my own thing independently first. And then I kind of got with my partner, Black, from Blazing Black, and we started doing music together, and we've been riding the waves together ever since. So,
rocking ever since.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are maybe 2 or 3 challenges that you've experienced in your journey of entrepreneurship, and how did you overcome those challenges?
One of the challenges you're going to find, there's a lot. So I'll start with number 1 is your system around you, your support system. Mm-hmm. You're going to find out a lot of times that the support system may not be what you think it should be or what you expect it to be, and those who are going to give the most support may come from unknown sources.
Right.
Sometimes your closest people at the time may not be your biggest support system when it comes to your dreams for whatever reason.
Right.
There's no need for me to get into this. Can be a myriad of reasons for why. Right. But you're going to need to be uplifted. You're going to need some support. Don't be afraid to get that support elsewhere.
Right.
And if you can help it, try not to hold the person who you expect to support you. Try not to hold that against them.
Right.
Because a lot of times we're not aware of the type of energy we give off, and we can also give to others. So they may not even know that what they're doing is not helping you at all, or that
Right.
they would like that you would like more support from them, because they may not understand that.
Right.
That's your vision.
Right.
No one's going to see your vision clearer than you. So don't blame them for not supporting. It's your vision.
Correct.
And no one's going to support you more than you already support yourself. So number one, make sure you're your biggest cheerleader, and then try to surround yourself with people who's going to help support you and get those dreams off the ground.
I really believe that that's a true jewel as far as being your own cheerleader.
You have to be.
Even with the business umbrella. So I fully launched the business umbrella in 2019. And so what we do at the business umbrella is we service entrepreneurs and small business owners by providing their back office. So we do all their financial and administrative paperwork. So the whole idea behind the business umbrella was to basically take an entrepreneur who is stuck, like they've done everything that they could do by themselves, and now they're stuck, and they need to get to the next level of growth. Right. So it's basically them outsourcing their back office to us. We take care of all of that. We work in their business while they work on their business and able to grow it. And so when you talk about being your biggest cheerleader, that can be very difficult, especially when you're depending on the people closest to you to support you. And then I realize I get a lot of support from the people close to me. I just want them to hear that. Shout out to all my friends and family. But my service is not going to benefit my dad. Right. My service is not going to benefit my sister. They don't have businesses, you know. So being my own cheerleader and pushing myself up to where I can get out there to the audience that I'm going to serve is definitely a big thing. So to all the entrepreneurs out there, definitely be your number one cheerleader.
Yo, let me say this clearly. This is a lonely road full of pitfalls and valleys.
Right.
I'm not finna sit and tell you it's going to be a better road. Everything you see on Instagram, that's for cap.
Right.
I'm telling you. You have to love this. This has to be your passion, undoubtedly, because there's gonna be moments in time you're gonna face the idea of quitting,
right,
on whatever this is. So if it's not your passion, it's gonna be an easy quit job. I've quit it 6 times already, but I'm still here. You see what I'm saying?
Here.
I always, you get to that point. Everybody had that breaking point, right? You're like, man, forget this, fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying? But
we out.
Yeah, but then you find yourself slowly easing. You can't quit it. It's like a drug you can't let go of. If you don't feel that way about whatever it is you say you'll be entrepreneurship about, don't do it.
That's not the feel for you.
That's not the feel for you, because I'm telling you, people's like, oh, you're overnight success, la, la, la. It took me 8 years to become an overnight success, and I'm still not where I'm supposed to be now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
you're overnight success in their eyes.
In their eyes.
The whole time you've been
I've been doing
staying at it.
I've been doing it. I'm always reinvesting in myself at the same time. That's another jewel I drop. Reinvest in yourself.
So how do you do that? How does an artist like yourself reinvest in yourself?
It can be a lot of different ways. You're not going to always have money at first. You have to get to a certain point. But reinvest in yourself now. When you do get some change, don't just try to buy. I'm a shoe person, so hold off. You know what I mean? Instead of buying
you have to have every new shoe.
I don't have to have 3 pairs this month.
Right.
Let me do 2 and then spend the rest of it on a DBA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Here we go.
Yeah, give yourself some room. Give yourself a chance.
Right.
Give your dream a chance.
Right.
Just like you give yourself a chance to be fly. Every time you step outside that door, you know what I'm saying? You dare not walk outside that door if your stuff not exactly how you want it to be. You give yourself a chance when you walk out that door. Give your dream that same shot. Like, give it a chance. So invest in it. You might have to put time in. YouTube, research, read books. You don't have no money, cool. Learn from YouTube what's going on, how to better your craft.
There are a lot of free resources.
Man, then, in my music, you might not have the money for the program. They got free programs. Download the free version, the light version. It's cool. You don't need all of it right now. You just starting anyway. But invest in yourself. And then once you're able to do that, also invest in yourself is making sure you're keeping up with your mental health.
Taking care of yourself.
Yeah, because if this is your dream, this is your passion. If you break down, who's going to keep it rolling?
Right.
Your dreams dies with you until it gets developed. It's not all fully developed. So if you have a heart attack tomorrow, it's over with.
Right.
So you did all that for nothing. So take care of yourself mentally. Put some mental help in. Sometimes that means getting away from certain people. Sometimes it means being more by yourself. And then people understand after a while.
Right.
But you got to take care of your mental health, because if you're no good, then you're no good to nobody else.
That's the jewel right there. So tell me, do you believe that you have to have passion to be a successful entrepreneur, or do you have to have talent, or you believe they should have a little bit of both?
You do not have to have a passion to be a successful entrepreneur, but you have to be savvy in something. I think passion is more for the doers. But you can be successful by just having the bread.
Right.
I got the money.
Right.
Yeah, I got
invested the right way.
yeah, I invested the right way. And
I'm
that point,
successful.
yeah, I don't be passionate in nothing but money.
Right.
All I have to do, I have to have some savvy, who to invest in, who to trust with my investment with, and I can still get rich.
That's
And
true.
I don't have to be passionate in nothing at all. I don't care what this person is selling. I just know that based on the numbers that I ran and based on what my research that I've done, they're gonna hit.
Money.
It's
Right.
gonna make me money, and that's what I'm passionate about, making money.
Right.
So yes, you have to be passionate in something, but it doesn't necessarily have to be talent.
Okay. So you say that you have a partner.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. How do you feel about joint ventures? Like when you got with your partner, do you feel like that took the success of your business further, or just how do you feel about partnerships? Period. Because I don't think we've spoken about that on this podcast yet, and I think that's very important because for some people, if they team up, they might can get to where they want to go faster.
Absolutely. I think partnerships are important, but I think before you can become a successful partnership, you have to have a successful friendship.
Okay.
In most cases.
Mm-hmm.
In a situation like he and I, we're together at the shows, we're together in the studio, we're together a lot. So we have to actually actually like each other,
right,
to be around each other that much. You know, you can't fake that energy all the time. So I think if you guys are going to be a partners for real, y'all going to do everything together, then y'all have to have a solid foundation relationship first. So when things get tested, y'all can still, come out, or you can at least separate the business from the personal side. So I think that's first. And once you've done that, there is a give and take. Luckily, with our dynamic, what I bring to the table, he doesn't. It's not necessarily his strongest suit.
Right.
And his strongest suit is not necessarily my strongest suit.
So y'all kind of balance each other.
Man, it's a perfect balance.
Right.
I'm the asshole. He the nice one. You know what I mean? So it's a
good
perfect
cop,
balance.
bad cop.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I do the production, and the music and whatnot. I do more of the vocals. He does the rapping. So if I rap, I can, but I don't have to. 'Cause he's gonna do the rapping for sure.
Right.
You get what I mean? I'll get what I mean. So I set up all the art, the merch, the music, what the band's gonna play. He handles all the day-to-day operations. I don't answer any text messages, any calls about that. I don't even know when we have a show. I have to ask him. That's what his job is.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So we split the duties. That way, both you can get more done faster. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And then people get proficient in what they're good at, and let them just work that. He doesn't come to the studio and say, "Man, I want to do a beat today." Nope.
Not happening.
That's not his calling.
So I think that's really important to highlight that you guys utilize each other's strengths.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that entrepreneurs need to realize, even when, because we'll start talking about this in a minute, but even when you talk about outsourcing, if it's something that you can do and you're good at, then, go ahead and do that until you start needing your time. Then
Correct.
You don't have
Absolutely.
a choice but to outsource.
Absolutely.
But if it's something that you're not an expertise at, then it's okay to team up and join, like you said, as long as you have that trust and all those other factors, and let people work in their strength.
Right.
And I feel like that's what helps take companies further up at a faster rate.
Absolutely.
Okay, so about outsourcing, do you believe in outsourcing, or do you believe that starting off, because this is for the inspiring entrepreneurs, do you think that they should try to do everything themselves, or should they look at outsourcing when it comes to marketing, bookkeeping, or whatever their needs are?
I think it will save you a lot of headache and money in the long run if you first know how to do a little bit of everything that you're trying to be an entrepreneur of. In my case, I can do a little bit of everything because I had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the money for a major engineer. I had to learn how to mix myself.
Right.
I didn't have the money for a beat maker. I had to go do beats myself. I didn't have money for a lot of things. I had to go do it myself. I didn't have money to pay a musician to come in every night, so I had to create my own band. So a lot of things came out of necessity. We didn't have, so I got Photoshop on myself.
Right.
I still registered as a college student. I'm not currently, but they got discounts for college students.
I have it
so,
too.
you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
get your Photoshop suite, college student, discount or whatnot. But I had to do all that on myself because if I didn't do it, it wasn't going to get done.
Right.
And the way my personality is set up, I like what I like, how I like it.
Right.
So, if they can't get the job done. You have to. So eventually, once it becomes more of a time-consuming thing for me, and it's not worth the time I can be doing something else, then I can get to the point where I can resource it. But at the same time, nobody can hold me on whatever I ask them to do because I already done it.
Right.
So how I judge on how good you are you better than me at where I'm at that service?
Right.
Because if you're just as good as me or not better than you're terrible because
Right.
I just learned this on the fly.
So you really don't have any expertise
Man, I
in
got
this.
taught from YouTube. If
Right.
your work look like my work, then what do I need to hire you for?
Right.
I'm not going to pay you to do what I do.
Right.
because I can just do it. My
Yeah.
whole point to paying is to get a better product than what I can do myself.
For
and
sure.
hopefully in a short amount of time, because if it takes you as long as it take me, then you're not a pro because I'm not a pro.
Right. Then what are we really doing?
What are we really doing here? But I only know that because I've done it.
Right.
So you can't hold me out those situations because I know what it's supposed to look like. So I'm turning it down before you even finish.
Right.
Nah, I'm good on that. That ain't gonna work.
So I think that's definitely a perspective that I do believe that you should know all aspects of your business.
Some part of it.
So that you can recognize,
Correct.
like, for example, accounting. If you don't know anything about
They gonna hold you out your
accounting,
money.
you don't
You
know
gotta.
what's the profit, what's the loss.
You gotta.
Somebody could come in there and do anything. They can print some papers down from the internet and say, hey, this is what your books look like. And you don't even have any
It'll be
books.
5 years. They cooking your books 5 years,
Exactly.
making money. You don't even know.
Exactly. So
with anything, like I said, it's gonna be more beneficial to you in the long run if you already know. Now you can go through it not knowing, blindfolded. Just know, they're gonna shaft you a few times on your way up.
Right, you're going to learn the hard way.
You got to learn. You got to pay your dues either on the front end or the back end, but you're gonna pay those dues one way or the other. So I paid mine on the front end by buying things that I don't necessarily have money for and spending that time. So a lot of things you do in your entrepreneurship, guys, is important. Is money you can get and lose and come back, but the biggest sacrifice you're gonna make is of time.
Yep. And that's what we start talking about outsourcing.
If you're not in a position to sacrifice time, especially in the beginning, this might not be the situation for you.
Sure.
If you're a newly married person or started a brand new family and you want to get into this entrepreneurship life, no matter what it is, if you and your family have not set aside and pre-planned how y'all gonna operate time,
right,
it's gonna cause issues in the family. I
Most
guarantee
definitely.
it.
I know a lot of people say, I want to start my own business so I can control my own schedule and work when I want to, and it's like that is the wrong concept.
Yeah,
Because
you're working
gonna
all
work
the
more.
time.
You're gonna work more in owning your own business than you did at any
Yes.
9 to 5.
I hope when you say when I want to, you mean all day, because that's where you're headed.
That's
Like,
where you're at all
yeah.
day.
And even if you have like me, I'm in a position where I have a 9 to 5 in the daytime, I still gotta put those hours in after work.
Right.
Now that means I might not get to bed 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, but that's my reality.
Right.
If you're not ready for that, you need to reevaluate what you're trying to do.
Right, before you jump out there.
Entrepreneurship has become a very hot topic, a very a cool thing to do. But the reality of it is everybody can't be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Everybody's not built to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
And I just speaking facts. If everyone was an entrepreneur, then who would do the work?
I always say that. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So let me talk about how the business umbrella was birthed. So I had a friend, and he was an entrepreneur, and he would always talk about entrepreneurship and want to promote it, and everybody should be an entrepreneur. And I said, well, who's going to work for them?
Correct.
And I always felt like I was meant to help build someone else's vision.
Absolutely.
So I always felt like I would operate well in a management or a leadership position in someone's company, and I could help them carry that vision. But that's how my business got started, because in my business, I'm still doing that. I'm still helping you with your business, but I'm an entrepreneur myself.
I tip my hat to anybody who's working for somebody else and still putting in those hours to work for yourself at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Because you know the value of that dollar. You know the value of time.
Right.
Because that's the situation I was in. You have to be so good at your craft that you can get done in half the time what others have all day to do.
Right.
Dog, that's not easy. I got a 6-hour window to make up for everything you have all 24 to do at home. Now, whether you use all 24 or not is none of my business. But I'm just saying your allocated time for some of you guys who don't work a 9 to 5 is 24 hours in a day.
Right.
For those 14 hours or 16 hours, I was at work and sleep.
Right.
Lunchtime, everything between. When I came home, so I can get up and go to work the next morning, I got about 5-6 hours left
make something happen.
to make something pop. So I got to be very strategic about what I'm going to do in my time, because not to mention I got a family life, or if I got kids or if I got responsibilities outside that. Yo, I'm telling you, this is a very long road. It's a rewarding road at the end. But I'm telling you, there's no roses in the beginning for sure.
That is
It's a
transparency at its finest. So I appreciate you
It's
for
a
being
grind.
transparent with the Inspiring Entrepreneur, because that is so true. So what is one key to success that you're experiencing right now that you wish you would have started with from the beginning? So like you learned to do it now and it's helping your business, but you wish that you would have been doing that from day one.
Just starting.
Just taking a big jump.
Starting. Like, again, when I was a little bit younger, the opportunities were different.
Right.
You know, because I do music. I also dabble in film as well. So even from the film side of it, I would go to an audition. I'll tell you a quick story, really funny. I was used to just doing, the acting in school and college and high school and whatnot. So I finally, took some headshots, decided I was going to start auditioning for these roles, right?
Right.
So I would go out to these roles, and they first of all, you gotta understand, my people are not writing these scripts, right?
Right.
So when I go to these auditions, it's not in the 610 loop.
Right, for sure.
I'm in Jersey Village. I'm in Side Creek. I'm everywhere. So I got to drive all the way out Timbuktu that I have no business being. I look like nothing out there. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because I would go in. I would get the script, right? And so you go in, you get the script, and they give you like 20 minutes or whatever. Well, this is when I went. I don't know how they do it now.
Right.
They give you 20 minutes or whatever to learn the particular script part that you're auditioning for.
Right.
So I went back to my car. Everybody else is in the room. I'm doing in this room. We can't, We're
not having no conversation.
We're not having no conversation.
Right.
So I didn't know. So me being somebody who's did plays and everything in the church my whole life, this is kind of like an easy transition for me. So I learned the entire sheet of like everybody's lines plus mine in this 20-minute spell.
Right.
So I go in to read, and I give the person my paper, and they're like, "No, you
need this.
You need this so you can read." I was like, "Oh no, I know all my lines." She was like, "Which ones?" I was like, "I know everybody.
I know everything on that paper.
Everything on this paper. I know Brad, Jimmy, Jill, and the ghost. I know everybody's lines on this paper."
Right.
So I found out I didn't know that. I thought that's how.
You thought that was a good thing.
Hey, in church, I was like one of the only people that my mom did the plays, so I had to be good, right? So I had to know everybody's stuff, so when they was fumble or would not know a part,
you could help them
I could help them out or know when to move on. You know what I mean? So I had a lot of practice with learning everybody's lines. So I just carried. I didn't know. I thought that's how it worked. I didn't know acting at the time. They might do 3-4 lines and say cut, and then you're done. Or
that's
when you're reading with the paper. I didn't know that. So just a little, but that's how, not knowing kind of helps you out. I didn't get the part, but at least
it was an experience.
I showed myself
that
I can do something that most actors don't go in innately doing,
Wow.
So that was a start of something.
Okay. So if you were sitting down with the inspiring entrepreneur right now, what would be your advice to them?
Have a plan. Map out a plan. You have to have a plan. What do you want to do, and why do you want to do it? And it took me a while. I'm not going to lie. This is a really transparent moment. It took me a while to really hone in on my why.
Right.
I know I loved it, right? But what is your why? What's your purpose? Why? So it took me a while to hone into that, because everybody's why, when you ask them, is some great big
something that they
oh my gosh, it's like oh my god, damn. Like, wow, okay.
Yeah,
I want to join.
Great.
Can I join too?
Right.
Awesome. My mom used to be we used to be on drugs, and so now I'm an advocate for drugs. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or these great stories. And I never had a great story for my why. I just really love what I do. But I honed in on my why recently is I come from a impoverished area neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But thank God, my situation in my home, in my world, wasn't of poverty. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate, and I didn't know this at the time. Growing up, I'm thinking this is how I had both my parents, mother and father, in my house the entire time. You know? My entire family, all of my cousins, all of my aunts, all of my uncles are all my original aunts and uncles.
Right.
Since day one.
That's a blessing.
That's wild. When I think about it now, I didn't. As a kid, it was my world, so it was.
It was normal for you at first.
Everybody's life was like this,
right?
What you mean your dad didn't come home last night? I mean,
right.
I didn't understand that. You see
right,
what I'm saying?
Right.
So as I got older, I realized, this is an enormity. My dad was showing me antique cars, and we doing fire your kills and magic stuff, and he just had me in a whole different world.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go through River Oaks, and he was or the Heights, and he would just show me these houses. We just ride through it. A lot of people do it like on Christmas time. We do it on a random Wednesday.
Or let's go see this.
Let's go check out this neighborhood. Or take me to these antique shops. And I didn't. didn't know what it did then, but now my taste is different.
Right.
I develop a different taste. Although I'm cut from the same cloth.
Because you were exposed to different things. I was exposed
differently, and then I didn't have to be exposed to other things. The internet is different now, but when I was young, I had to be in when the street light came on.
For sure.
But there were friends of mine who didn't have to go in, but that was a different world when the street lights came on. So they lived a different experience on that same street I was on, because I was in the house and they was allowed to stay outside.
Right.
And it's a small thing, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So it developed me into. So now, fast forward to how it works in my entrepreneurship. Now, let me know if I'm
no, you
going
good.
too long. I have no problem talking. Not the shy bone in my body, but how it works in my business now. I have a certain taste. I have a certain requirement.
Right. A standard.
I have a standard.
Right.
And I don't need nobody else to validate what my standard is, because I've already developed it myself. My childhood, my upbringing helped me develop that standard for myself. So when we do some music together, I'm not just rolling with anything.
Right.
When I pay for a service, now everything ain't good. Now that's not going to work for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I have a standard, and I didn't let somebody depict that standard to me. I created my standard based on what. Now everybody's upbringing is not like mine.
Right.
But that's no excuse. You can still educate yourself to give yourself all I'm saying is have a standard.
Yeah.
Don't let the dollar amount or the fast way be the bottom line for why you make a decision.
So have a plan.
Have a plan. Have a standard, and then from there, and have a path. Have a what is your why?
Mm-hmm.
Have a plan, have a standard, have a why.
Right.
And from there, you can start to really build. And what happens is you'll start realizing that you're doing these things strictly for the love of it and your standard.
Yeah.
And all the other successes and money and all that stuff will come with it. It's going to come with it because you have a standard and you have a why and you have a plan. Now, it's not going to go exactly the way you write it down.
Right.
I'm going to tell you that right now. But stick to the script. It's going to
always come back. You always have something to come back to and say, okay, I did this. I still have these things to accomplish.
I listened to an interview with Will Smith a while ago. So I listen to motivation interviews and stuff. I think that's important. It gets you good mental space.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, the universe is like water. You just keep going and going. And I'm paraphrasing, obviously.
Right.
You keep going and going and going, and eventually it's going to just get out of your way. It wants to get out of your way so you can go to wherever you need to go. But you got to keep pushing. If you ever try to move underwater, it's not as easy as moving outside of it. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
So you got so that push may be a little bit tougher, take a little bit longer, but eventually things will kind of just line themselves up. A lot of us quit before we get our blessing.
Right.
Because but when it gets tough, you got to find some way to dig down just a little bit deeper. You know what I mean? And
that's when that why kicks in.
Yeah, that's when your why kicks in. Thank you very much. That's when the why kicks in because that's all you have left.
Right.
Your passion was there, but you're worn now. You're tired.
Yeah, you're tired.
You dead dog tired. You know what I mean? What else did we mention? Your standard is there, but maybe nobody's meeting it.
Right.
Only you meeting your standard, which makes you have to do way more work than what
then you start feeling isolated. Like nobody understands. Nobody's
you know what I mean?
On this page.
At this point, there's no one else in the room. You can say fuck it and go to bed.
Right.
And be done with
Be done.
Hey, night over.
Right.
Look, I'm going to say fuck it. I'm going to go, fire me one up.
Right.
And I'm going to forget all.
That's it.
And tomorrow we're going to start something new.
Yeah. A whole new business.
Whole new everything.
Yeah.
I'm dumping all my old girls. I'm finna just start everything brand new. I'm throwing everything out.
Yeah. But then when that why kicks in.
When that why kick in the middle of the night, I just said fuck it and went to bed.
Oh, me too.
Crying. Lord, I don't want to feel this way in the morning.
Right.
Like I'm going through a for real divorce with myself.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
Feel me? If you ain't never been the entrepreneurs, when you're going through a divorce with yourself, keep living. It's coming.
Yeah.
That's when that rubber meets the road, Right. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. You can have this, Jack. Matter of fact, do me a favor. Put something else in its place so I don't even want to think about it no more.
Right.
I'm telling you, I was going through a real divorce. Like I'm
yeah.
divorcing my wife. Hey, bring me somebody else real quick so I forget about what I had so I can move on with my life. I'm ready to move. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But I'm ready to do something different.
I'm ready to do something different. Man, shit. I thought I was ready to do something different.
It won't go nowhere. You wake up the next morning, it's still on your mind.
On your chest.
Yep.
I found out I didn't realize music was played so many damn times. I'm going to the malls, music in the background. I'm going to
it's music
It's
everywhere.
crazy. I'm like, I'm hearing everything now.
Elevators
got music in it. You know what I'm saying? I listen right to this day. I only listen to AM radio. Well, I'm listening to my playlist, but I don't even keep it on. I would listen to talk radio.
Yeah.
They start playing more music in the middle of the talk radio. I'm like, okay.
And you find yourself back.
Okay, you find yourself back,
Right.
and then you find what the crazy part is the way that God works. You find yourself back, and you find yourself rejuvenated and refreshed.
More energy.
And probably new ideas that you didn't even think of at first.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That definitely happened with me and the business umbrella. When we launched back in July of 2019, I might have provided some service in August. Then I was gone.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you why. Life. That's why I was.
Exactly.
I was wrapped up in life. And then
happens.
I got to the point where it's like nobody even remembers the business umbrella. Like, you're not finna try to bring that back.
Yeah.
Like, just start something different.
Yeah.
But I
do it.
couldn't.
Yeah.
And here we are today. So thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you for coming out and being very transparent
Absolutely.
with the entrepreneurs about everything, because IG is all cap.
It's all cap, man.
All cap.
Bro, it's so much cap on IG, and you know, it's good. I don't want to knock it, but you have to use the internet. Don't let it use you.
Right.
You have to understand a lot of stuff you see is just like watching a movie. They're only going to highlight what they want to highlight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I have yet to see, somebody said this, I have yet to see any influencer go live from behind their work desk. Nigga, I know you got a 9 to 5. But they
You're not doing this influencer thing all day.
Bro, you is not getting paid that much money. You only got 10,000 followers. You is not getting paid. I don't see no ads running on your page.
Right.
You got a 9 to 5.
Where that's at?
Or
Where's that part of the story?
Or if you don't have a 9 to 5, I know your mama upstairs. One of the two.
Upstairs.
Either you got 9 to 5, you live with your T. Jones.
Right.
And that's cool. I'm not
That's
knocking it.
cool.
All I'm saying is, for the young person that's watching that, trying to be influenced, they don't see that grind.
Show them the whole story.
They don't see that. But that's not on the influencer because they doing what they feel is best.
Right.
But that's for the young up and comers. Hey, it's cap. There's a back end to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's serious work that has to be put in.
Hey, somebody's putting in work or somebody lying.
One or the other.
One or the other. Somebody putting in mad work or somebody around here fronting. Because you can't get no results without putting in mad work. Somebody got to put in mad work.
For sure.
And then you start talking. And if there's somebody else behind the scenes putting in mad work, that's fine. But now you start talking about ownership. And that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. For another day.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, Rick, how if somebody wants to hear your music, talk to you, connect with you, how can you be reached?
You can find us on all social media, Instagram and Facebook, Blaze, BLAZEX, Black, BLACK. Some of you guys probably have already heard of us, but if not, Blazing Black on IG, Blazing Black on Facebook. We put all our show performances there. We just came from Austin this past weekend, and Austin is always awesome. Also, shout out to anybody from originally from Austin, Texas, man. We love it. As a matter of fact,
Austin.
if y'all got to connect, I'm out there too often. I need somewhere to kind of chill when I get down there. So y'all just hit up Jazz and she'll get in touch with me.
Yeah,
and we'll
get
work
the
something out.
information to you.
Yeah, we'll work something out. But all that Blaze X Black, the music. We have some music on Spotify.
Okay.
But we're working on our own website, so you can start getting the new album that's coming out soon. You can get that strictly from our website.
All right.
So that way we get everything.
All right. I know
what
that's
I'm saying?
right.
Keep it all in.
Okay. Well, I definitely want to thank you again for coming out, like I said, and being transparent with our viewers. And I definitely will be coming out to support.
Absolutely.
And everybody else, you more than invited. Connect with them on IG and, let's support and continue to build our community.
For sure. Thank you.
Thank you.